We would like you guys to join this portion of the conversation, please. To vote in our poll, go to NBCSportsBoston.com/early edition. Scan the QR code, scroll down. After watching the Chiefs lose, how do you feel about Mac Jones and the Patriots entering 2023? More optimistic, less optimistic, or feelings haven't changed? Right now, 47% of you say feelings haven't changed. Which is kind of how I am, Phil. But I know there was something that you noticed that might have actually made me feel less optimistic about the Patriots, because there are two takeaways you had, one in the Patriots' favor, one not so much. Let's start with the not so much.
Well, listen, I think this game is a real indication of just how important it is to surround your quarterback with the right pieces, whether it's Patrick Mahomes or Jared Goff or Mac Jones. Patrick Mahomes has nothing in the way of receiving help outside of Travis Kelce. That's what it looked like last night. You had Kadarius Toney dropping footballs all over the field, giving away touchdowns to the Lions that ended up being the difference in the game. But even Patrick Mahomes needs a little help. And if you're so thin in Kansas City, where one injury to Travis Kelce turns you into a 20-point scoring team against one of the worst defenses in football last year, that's a problem. Now, Mac Jones, we know, isn't surrounded with the most talented supporting cast. And we know he's also not Patrick Mahomes when it comes to physical talent. So you have to help your quarterbacks. I think the Lions actually have helped a pocket passing, not all that physically impressive quarterback in Jared Goff by surrounding with a good offensive line and a good run game. He had great numbers last year for what was a very efficient offense, especially the second half of last season. That's what the Patriots should be trying to do. I'm not sure they've accomplished it this offseason, Amina.
Honestly, watching that game made me more optimistic about the Patriots. Only heading into week one, I'm not looking down the season or anything like that, but literally anything is possible. We've been talking about it for the last week. The fact that, the Eagles, they haven't had a chance to really be out there during the preseason with all their starters together. The Patriots themselves also have not had all their starters out there together on the field. We keep talking about, okay, yeah, the Eagles, they're going to win this game. It might be a bludgeoning. Everybody has their different opinions about it. However, Trenni, I feel like watching that game last night, I was like, maybe it might change my mind. Maybe the Patriots might have a chance to win this game in week one. And I always say this all the time.
Because it's weird.
Week one is always weird. Everyone is knocking the rust off. If Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, who won the Super Bowl, if they're knocking off rust, you got to think that the Eagles are knocking off rust as well, and the Patriots have a chance in that matchup.
I guess that's why overall, I'm feeling the same. Because I think the Patriots might be able to steal some wins at some point, because I think their receiving group is better than what Kansas City had on the field for Patrick Mahomes last night. But I don't think that, obviously, that Mac Jones is Patrick Mahomes. Right. So when push comes to shove, you need more weapons around Mac Jones. I think it's all going to even out in the end. Maybe, though, we should be a little more, especially if we see more from Mac Jones, a little more optimistic about what he might become because of another quarterback in the field last night, Phil?
I am optimistic about what he might be, especially if you can eventually get the right sorts of pieces around him. And if you can have eventually a sound running game because your offensive line is pretty good. And I think the offensive line will end up being pretty effective this year. I think they have 4+ players along their offensive line. The right tackle spot, I'm not sure about. But if you can get that run game going and have it be somewhat similar to what they have in Detroit there, then the play action game opens up, something that they completely ignored last year, essentially. Those kinds of things can help Mac Jones really creep into that, in my opinion, sniffing top 10 territory at quarterback.
Do you think at the top tier, Mac Jones is better than Jared Goff?
I do. I think he's smarter than Jared Goff. I think he makes quicker decisions than Jared Goff. He's really accurate. He's a little smaller, and maybe he doesn't have quite the arm that Goff does, but I think he can be better than Jared Goff.